Now, I'm going to get the path to match that club face. It didn't curve much, right? Relatively straight, okay? Now, I'm going to open the face big time and go match the path to that club face. Okay, it's basically just a straight block, right? Okay, now, you know, the ball's starting left. People saying, "I come from the inside," right? Come from the inside. Well, my club face is in this position, and I come from the inside. It just makes it hooky. See what I'm saying? So a proper draw is hit with an open face, and a proper cut is hit with a square to a closed face. So, you know, I watched Jack Nicklaus once a memorial talking about how he did this. And Sean O'Hara's chirping, and he's like, "I told you, you curved it with the face. And you started it with the path." So Nicklaus was like, "Look, when you want it to draw, you gotta let the face close. The face is just closing down, there's where the draw comes from. If you want to fade it, you gotta hold the face open." You see the two differences right there? Like from straight down the line, what changed more than anything? Path. So he, you know, that's the whole thing. That's what he felt he was doing. But I guarantee you, if the ball was starting left of his target line, the face was square to slightly closed. And then I started looking at more, you know, I remember being younger, and I really liked David Duval. I just loved how free he looked. I mean, he looked so free through the ball. I always felt like stuck in and all this stuff happening through here, and he just flowed right through it. And I said to the guy I was working with, I was like, "Look, the club face is so shut. Why is he faded?" He's like, "Well, you know, as he comes into it, you know, he opens it, and, okay, that's why he fades it." But then I'm looking on the video and slowed down, and things like this still. I'm like, when's he going to open it? He's got about 1,000th of a second to get to the ball. Can you even do that in that time frame? You can't, right? So I'm thinking, and then comes into impact, and I'm like, okay, that's still close. This is making no sense. But if he faded it, why did he need the club face closed? So the ball would start left. Okay? Trevino's fade was completely different. It was completely different. He aimed 40 yards left, and he blocked it onto line, then cut. Well, what has to happen? There just has to be a differential between face and path. So if I come into here, and I'm going to try and hit a ball that starts right and draws back. Okay, so without that left to right win, that probably would have done that. Well, if you saw it impact, my hands would be there. So the face is 2 degrees open, all right? In order for it to start right and curve back on line, the spin axis has to be 2.5 times greater than the face is open. And this you have to know. This is important, okay? So if the face was 2 degrees open, I had to be in to out of the swing arc or the circle. I'm not talking about target line. I'm talking about the circle. Okay? The path had to be 5 degrees in to out in order to make it 2 times 2.5 is 5. See what I'm saying? So there's going to be differences, but at the end of the day, look, if the face is 3 degrees open and the path is 5 degrees from in to out, the ball's going to curve left a little bit because the differential is 2. Now, if the face is 3 degrees open and the path is out to in at 7, now then you add them, that's 10. And that's why the ball starts right and keeps curving right. So the death shots are obviously a closed face with an in to out path and an open face with an out to in path. So even when I'm with my players, and basically I can close my eyes and know where the ball's going just by the sound of it because I've watched it so many shots. And I try to stay away from my camera as much as possible to keep my instincts high. Okay? Sometimes I've had moments where I'm so clear that I see them slow down, like they literally slow down. And I've heard other coaches talk about, you know, watching a play happen on the field before it even happened and calling an audible because they saw the exact mistake that DB is going to make. I mean, it's pretty cool, but that's just experience, you know what I mean? It's a lot. I've given thousands upon tens of thousands of golf lessons, okay? And I don't care if you're world class or if you just want to be better. It doesn't really matter to me. I enjoy teaching, period. So that's kind of important to know. So as soon as you understand that, you know, that you're gonna do that. Now the guys will tell you too. Look, I did rotate the face, and I'm like, yeah, but you took a divot. Like so? Like, well, if you're taking a divot and you have a neutral grip and your hands are forward, then the face is open, regardless of what you felt through here. I remember watching Peter Costas. And, you know, look, I respect Peter Costas. We come from a different generation, all right? The way they're building cars now, they did in 1920, doesn't make people in 1920 wrong. They were actually very pioneering. All right? It's not for me to say, look, if I look in the mirror for an hour, I have nothing else to say about anyone else because I got enough shit I got to do with my own self, you know? So I don't have time. Is Kenny Perry, right? Who is probably the best drawer of the golf ball who's ever lived. And Kenny Perry was always a great player, but once that ball changed, man, did he become good because it couldn't curve as much. So when the equipment changed and then the ball changed, Kenny Perry became like one of the #1 players in the world. He was just getting older, you know, but it just couldn't curve as much, didn't spin as much. So Costas is like, you know, what I want you to see here, okay, is watch how the club face is closing through the ball to make it draw. And I said to my wife, watch this thing's going to open more and more as it comes into the ball. She's like, oh, all right, we're watching, all right. And Kenny Perry comes in, and you watch him go, and his hips are going forward for so long, he's staying closed forever with his upper body. And, you know, he kind of has that, he gets it here, and then just cranks his turn. So the club's coming from here now. It's super deep, all right? So it's deep inside the arc, which is a discussion of what's more important, width or depth. Okay? And I've always known that getting the club back here always helps me hit it further and better. Andy Plummer, half a stack and tilt, talked about depth in the circumference. I said, well, I like how he articulated, but it's not like it was news for him. You see, that's part of the problem, right? I mean, you could look at Hogan and Bobby Jones and all that and see that they weren't in the modern position. They were all the way over here. And people say, yeah, but they had different equipment. I said, I think they did it right because they had different equipment. The ball spun a ton. The clubs weren't built great. I think they found the answer because they had to. I mean, if Hogan was playing with today's equipment, he probably wouldn't miss a green in regulation for like 2 years in a row. You know? Hogan said, what, putting's only worth half a stroke. I love that. That's great, right? So Kenny Perry's coming into it, and he gives it his little through here, and now I've been told, keep your hips still, turn against your hips, create separation. Kenny Perry couldn't turn more this way with his body, and he bombs it and he's 48, okay? And he gets coming in here, and he's going, and you see how long his foot stays down. And this heel really leads the toe this way, all right? Which means he's able to stay closed. And he comes in, and the face is wide open. I mean, it's like that, boom. And then you see him go, and Costas is like, okay, here comes the face, and it's like forward, 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 forward. And it's on the Biz Hub, so it's like 4,000 frames per second, which is showing that it's not closing at all. Okay? At all, all right? And then you see as he gets through here, he's coming really into out. You know, he's super square with his, almost closed with his shoulders, square with his hips. So it's going to be very hard to swing back inside the circle if you're that way. You see what I'm saying? And then the club is going out, 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 and then you see it go, whang. But the shot's gone. And that's part of the reason, is obviously, as the club's moving further away, the toe's the fastest moving object in the golf swing. It's obviously going to go, right? Whereas you watch Duval, and he's coming in here like this, and the face is like that, and then he's like this. So it's all based in the path and understanding that. So, you know, I was working with Rosie, and he was like, okay, so basically you want me, I'm here at impact, okay, because he was told that divots weren't good or whatever. Okay, and the fact is he was just good enough to play decent with that.